K's 70th year on the air, and each week we are catching up with old friends of ours and yours you've invited into your living room over the years. I want to go back to the 80s and the 90s now.
Now, Doug Cryle, Margaret Preston, Tom Bonner's weather, and Dave Woodman's sports. This is Channel 4 Eyewitness News at 5. Now, Doug Cryle.
And this is not Doug Cryle, Tom Bonner, or Dave Woodman. Margaret Preston is joining us. Margaret, so great to see you.
It's great to be here. I cannot believe that there are people here still when I was here.
Absolutely. Well,
including you.
I started 30 years ago, and you were the main anchor.
Yeah, and I've been going 27.
Time flies. But let's start at you, which is interesting with your story. You grew up in Little Rock.
I did.
And you grew up watching KARK.
I grew up watching KARK. It was the television of choice. And I tell you a little funny story about my family. I had moved from Arkansas for a while, and I got a job working for the ABC affiliate in Shreveport. And so I had become an ABC affiliate person, right? Loyalty and all of that. And so when I came home, I flipped the 7 and it was like, what are you doing?
This is a Channel 4 house.
This is a Channel 4 house.
And then
it still is.
You backed that up by eventually working here.
I did.
But you were a shy girl, graduated from Central High School. How does a shy kid become a news anchor?
I don't know. It just happens. But I do remember, I've always been a writer, and I can remember watching TV and seeing news anchors, and I would write my own stories about what was happening in my neighborhood or even at home. So I guess I was somehow enamored of the possibility somehow.
In your genes.
I guess.
And then you wound up coming on board, and you're working with Steve Barnes, Doug Cryle then eventually, and
yes.
Tom Bonner and Dave Woodman. What was that like?
Well, it was intimidating because they all had a background in broadcast, and I had a few months when I worked in Shreveport, but they had years.
And all of them you knew.
Yes. So it was a little bit intimidating, but very helpful as well. Dave Woodman, just the kindest guy. Tom Bonner, funny guy. I remember one day I had on a leather skirt and he made me stand up and modeled it.
Wow. Those were the days. But it was great too when you came on the team too, because and you were anchoring in prime time, the first black woman to do that in Little Rock. So you became a role model, not just as a female, but also as a member of the black community.
Well, I had an opportunity to speak to a lot of kids when I was working at Channel 4. They wanted to come and tell us about your job. And it was an opportunity for me to make them realize that when you are thinking about a career, what is it you really enjoy doing? And I told them the story about my own story of writing my own news stories before, when I was in elementary school, I was doing that. And so I hope that I was able to instill in them, what is it that I really like to do? Can I make a career out of music? Yes, you can. Can I make a career? I really like people. Maybe I'd make a good nurse or a good doctor.
Just set a goal and go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
An inspiration to so many. And when you were here too, making history, but also witnessing history, because you were here when the governor becomes president.
Exactly.
What was the insanity like when that was happening?
That was, okay, it was just chaotic for a while because he was from Arkansas. But that night, it was just crazy special somehow. The streets of Little Rock were just, people were out walking in the middle of the night after the polls closed and waiting for the results. And we had Andrea Mitchell from NBC. Everybody was here, and they were in the newsroom at Channel 4, the NBC affiliate. They used Channel 4 editing. Going,
who are these people?
Yes.
In my newsroom.
But it was fabulous. It was fabulous to see Arkansas on the map. Tell me about a night that tickles you the most that you recall. Well, it's so easy to do a flub on the air, right?
Yeah.
You try to be so serious and so exact. And so it was my night to introduce the first story of the night, and it had something to do with one of our presidents. And I don't remember what year it is, so I don't remember which president it was. And I said, "Good evening, thank you for joining us. I'm Margaret President." Because I had that on my brain, right?
Or were you setting another goal?
No, and I quickly changed it to Preston.
And I have to say too, you haven't changed a bit since I walked in this newsroom 30 years ago. And you were also the first female anchor here that I anchored with. First co-anchor.
Really?
I remember, it was a disaster. I messed up. I messed up
I
so
don't
bad
remember
that night. But you were so kind and gracious. And then I remember one night too, I was doing, and I had just moved from the Southwest and wasn't fully equipped, and I was doing a live shot outside, and this was in November. And I finished up the report, and I had a light jacket on and no gloves. And you said, "Bob, thanks very much. Why don't you go buy a coat and some gloves?"
I said that?
Yeah, you're like, it's getting hard to watch you, so I immediately went
It's
out
the
there.
mom in me. It
I
comes
guess so.
out.
But you're always fantastic to work with, and thanks so much for stopping by.
It's a pleasure, and I've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for inviting
Well,
me.
come again. We will indeed.
All right,
Margaret.
80th, I'll be here.
Thanks very much. And you'll look the same. You look absolutely fantastic.
Thanks, Bob.
We're back right after this.